Got to tune into this week's weekly video fishing forecast. We are down at Oakdale Yacht Club where we go over one of their upcoming tournaments with Tom from Oakdale Yacht Club. Capt now Lorenzetti has another one of those awesome stories that you guys like so much. We have reports and events from around the island, and Jenni has another open boat segment for us.
The ultimate fishing authority in the Northeast. The Fisherman magazine.
New Explore Series fish finders keep you locked on fish with unbeatable clarity, best-in-class imaging options, and a stunning ultra-bright HD screen. There's more to explore, only with Humminbird.
Today's date is October 16, 2025, and as you all know, we had that nor'easter last week that hit the island pretty directly. Hope you all fared well. Hope all your boats fared well. You double lined them. You made sure they were all good. You checked them. Some of the beaches got beat up a little bit. I heard Tobay lost up to 60% of the beach, but fishing is still going on. I know there's been fish caught after the storm already. With that being said, we are down here at Oakdale Yacht Club on the Connecticut River. They're having a little tournament coming up, a striped bass. It's going to be a South Shore Striped Bass Cup tournament. Tom Morford from Oakdale Yacht Club is going to tell us more about it. Tom.
Coming up next weekend will be the third annual South Shore Striper Cup. It's a fun event. We've been doing it for a lot of years under different names here at Oakdale. It started out as a tournament for our members and our slip holders, but it's grown into a much bigger event now. It is an online-based tournament, so you'll be able to catch fish and video measuring them, and that goes for the largest striped bass. And then we also have a slot category where we'll weigh slot fish, one per angler per day. And then we'll have a largest bluefish, which will also weigh. And then we're going to have a fourth prize spot, which will be kind of a target weight, and whoever gets closest to that target weight will win that prize. So the South Shore Striper Cup is a unique event in that it's an angler's tournament. You can fish on different boats on each of the 3 days, or fish on the same boat with a different crew, etc. So it allows you to fish with different friends, and it allows members here at Oakdale to fish with each other throughout the weekend and still have one winner at the end. So we made a few minor changes to the tournament this year. We've reduced it from a 5-day to a 3-day tournament. In addition, we've lowered the angler fee to just $125 per angler. And also, we've changed it in that you don't have to pick days to fish this year. The captain's meeting will be on Thursday, October 23rd at 5 o'clock. It ends at 7:30, and you can begin fishing immediately. And if you want, you can fish all the way from 7:30 on Thursday night, all the way until 2 p.m. on Saturday. Or any part thereof. So one of the unique things about our tournament is that it's all app-based, a company called Real Time Fishing, and it allows you to video and record your catches throughout the day. And as you upload these, the results become immediately visible to everybody else, which creates an exciting environment where people can follow who's catching what, and the leaderboard changes in real time throughout the tournament.
Let's take a look at our weather for the upcoming weekend.
Yeah, Matt, the weather is looking much better this weekend. Looks like Friday afternoon, the winds lie down. Saturday looks great. Sunday morning is going to be okay, but then it looks like the wind is going to pick up again. Remember, if you're heading out, check out the National Weather Service weather forecast before heading out.
So last Thursday, the Fisherman magazine had their annual offshore, inshore, and surf show and seminar at the Huntington Hilton. I did a blackfish seminar at the event. And luckily, Joey Leggio was in the audience. He was actually able to capture most of my seminar. If you're interested in hearing about shore-bound blackfishing, click on the link in the top right or in the description below. South Shore fishing legend Captain Al Lorenzetti has another great fishing story and tip combo for us this week. Al, what do you got?
Al's fishing stories. Listen, I had two that I was thinking about doing. I'm going to do the short one. I like to fish on structure in the ocean for striped bass. I have a bunch of pieces of rubble, wrecks, and everything, and put down a chunk, a bunker, and catch striped bass. I've caught hundreds of striped bass that way. So one day I had a party, actually a good friend, Chris Madonia, and his sister. And it was a gorgeous day, flat calm, glassed atom in the ocean. So there would be a very slow drift. A lot of times I anchor. So slow drift, I said, you know what, let's just drop a couple. I think we had live bunker, and drop them down on the piece and immediately his sister gets hooked up. She's fighting the fish, getting it up, coming closer to the surface, and I'm looking, and it's like the weirdest thing. The water just all turned brown. I was like, at first I didn't understand what was going on. Thousands of striped bass. You know, their back has a brownish tint to it. Thousands of them, all big ones. Right up to the surface, they followed that fish that she was fighting as I drifted off the piece. Well, that was it. I drifted off the piece, took the whole school with me, went back to the piece, no more fish. So answer is always anchor, don't be lazy, and that's it for this week. So catch up to you next week.
Let's take a look at what you can expect in this week's digital issue of the Fisherman magazine. Starting off, our surf column, putting away the wetsuit, when to make that transition over to waders. Inshore, the jig versus the rig debate. I wrote this one up myself. It's whether you want to use a jig or a rig for blackfish and the advantages for each one. Our freshwater column, chatterbaits for full largemouth. And we also have a reader gallery with your photos that you send in every week.
Introducing the Yak Attack Sandrig Surf Cart, the ultimate beach hauler for serious anglers. Glide effortlessly over soft sand with wide balloon wheels and lightweight, corrosion-resistant construction that's completely customizable with options. Whether it's rods, coolers, or tackle, haul it all with ease. Built by surf fishermen and engineered by Yak Attack.
We're going to start off the events now, but we do want to mention two events in particular that were affected by the weather from last weekend. They had new dates. One of them was extended. The first is the Crazy Alberto Surf Fishing Tournament that is being extended to this upcoming Sunday. Keep that in mind. Another tournament, the Harbor Crab. We did mention last week that the weather may play a factor in whether the tournament gets canceled or not. That tournament is going to be taking place on Sunday the 19th, with the captain's meeting taking place on the 18th. Now let's move to the other upcoming events from around the island. Starting off October 16th through the 18th is Mr. Poseidon's 5th annual 3-day Montauk Striper Challenge. Then October 17th through 19th is the Corkers Cup Gathering of the Anglers Tournament hosted by Montauk Surfcasters Association. And this Saturday, October 18th, is the Hempstead Lake Fall Family Fishing Festival. Then, as we mentioned before, October 23rd through the 25th is the Oakdale Yacht Club Striper Cup Tournament. And on the 24th through the 26th is the Fred Galfar Memorial South Shore Fishing Classic. For all the details on these events and the latest events from the Fisherman magazine, visit the Fisherman magazine/events.
For more than 20 years, anglers everywhere have come to know one thing, that nothing says no to fish bites.
Let's get the latest on the Dreamboat and the Coastal Kayak Clash tournaments.
We have two new entries this week in the Fisherman's Dream Boat Fishing Challenge. We start off with Long Island subscriber Joseph Lacossi of Ridge, New York, placing his fish on the board. It's a big bluefish weighing in at 20.31 pounds at Miller Place Bait and Tackle, which earns him the first place in the bluefish category, which also gets him on the leaderboard. Back again this week is New England subscriber Gregory Brennan of Wakefield, Rhode Island, replacing his last week's entry with another blackfish weighing in at 7.59 pounds, and that was weighed in at Quaker Lane Bait and Tackle. The leaderboard now looks like this. Thomas Luciano still in first with 20 points. Second goes to Joseph Lacossi with 16 points. And tied with Joseph is Rashawn Williams with 16 points. Are you the best angler in the Northeast? Well, now is your chance to prove it. The Fisherman's Dreamboat Contest is back. Win this Steigercraft center console powered by Yamaha along with these other great prizes. Fish hard and weigh in as many of these species to be top on the leaderboard. What's the catch? You must be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine. All it takes is one fish on the board to win a great prize, so however you fish, you have a shot. For all the details and official rules, visit thefisherman.com. There were no new entries in this week's Coastal Kayak Clash due to the weather, probably. Rothenong's in first with 6 points, Dustin Stevens got 6 points, and Bob Wagner in third with 5 points.
And if you decide to participate in the Dreamboat or the Coastal Kayak Clash, read all the rules carefully, fill out the forms completely, and that includes the length and girth measurements on your fish. Hey, we start the Around the Map segment with a new personal best, one of the biggest bluefish I've heard of this year from the Central Long Island Sound. The fish was caught on a bucktail by Joey Lacorsi. He's of J&J Bucktails on Instagram. The fish weighed 20.5 pounds and was weighed in a Miller Place bait and tackle. This fish is leading the Dreamboat category for bluefish right now. Nice job on the new personal best, Joey. Starting off on the east end of the island, a little rough out there, but we did get a report from the ebb tide, and if for all you squid fishermen out there, they let us know that the squid showed up in force in Montauk. Plenty of them around the boat on these night fishing trips. If you haven't done it before, definitely suggest you get in on one of these. The Viking has been doing these trips as well, so hop on any one of these boats, hop out there, it's a good time. Moving on to the south shore of the island, Dave Marcus checked in from the central south shore, the surf that is. During the nor'easter, he caught a nice bass right here, pictured on a diamond jig. Michael Keller checked in as well, fishing live peanut bunker in the Fire Island inland area on the last days of the fluke season. Remember, that season ends on the 15th. It's over now. Captain Paul Macy on the offensive tackle. Nice job on that buzzer beater fluke. Sergio checks in as well from the Robert Moses stretch. 38-inch striped bass. Nice job, Sergio, with that oversized, went right back in. Also, we got a little freshwater report for you on the South Shore. Cameron checked in. He was fly fishing at Connecticut State Park. Had this beautiful rainbow trout. Hit a black woolly bugger. Nice job, Cameron. Gary also checked in from the South Shore with a personal best surf-caught striped bass. Fish hit a green tube diamond jig. It was about 45 inches. He said it was a crazy fight with some serious waves from that nor'easter. Peel and drag the whole time. Beautiful picture, Gary. Congrats on the PB. Nice release. Some weak fish around as well. 23-inch weak fish from a Robert Moses area. The surf, that is, after dark. This one is from Robert from the Robert Moses area. Nice job on the weak fish, Robert. Moving on to the north shore of the island, the western north shore that is. Alan Yee, he checks in pretty often with us. He's always out there fishing. Got in on the blackfish bite for the season opener on Saturday. Said he had him on halved green crabs on a slider rig, except his biggest fish of the day did come on a jig. Also, I got out. I always get out opening day blackfish. Got out on Saturday, me and a few friends of mine. Fished in the Port Jeff area. I do have to say it was a little tough. We had low tide for a while. Tough little bite, but we did all have around, I would say, 15 fish a person. Shorts, that is, that went back, of course. I had a couple keepers by the end of the day. Biggest fish was about 4 pounds. All my fish were caught on the jig. Fishing about ½ ounce, 3/4 ounce jig, all on halved green crabs. I was fishing anywhere from 6 feet all the way up to about 15 feet, real shallow water this time of the year for me. Had a lot of fun, light tackle. The bite was pretty good, but again, I think it was a tide thing. I needed more tide. That's the only time I was able to fish, but put a couple in the box. Nonetheless, a lot of fun that day. Gonna try again this upcoming weekend. Then a quick check-in from the upstate area. John hit the Salmon River. Had a really good bite up there. That bite is going on right now. If you guys are a fan of fishing for these fish, take advantage of it. Moving on, we have a actual general surf report for you because surf has been hot recently, and I want to give you guys a little rundown. Again, we've been seeing fish from schoolie size up to about 45 inches, both north and south shore. Been a lot of sand eels around. I've been seeing a lot of bunker, a lot of rain bait, driving a lot of this action. Most of this action is coming on bucktails, diamond jigs, SP minnows, needlefish. Both day and night is both producing. Still some scattered bluefish around popping up. getting them on tins, poppers, and by the inlets, first light times. And overall, these consistent tides, cooler nights, there's plenty of bait around, all in the wash, keeping a lot of casters busy from Breezy Point to the Montauk area. I've been poking around myself on the South Shore, seeing a lot of shots of bass, slot fish, some oversized fish up to 30 pounds or so, both on the sand inside the inlets. Most consistent bites I have been seeing are closer to these high tide times. Also, keep in mind, shore targets is going to be hot this time of the year. I'll be doing some of that as well. I suggest trying all the rock piles along the north shore of the island and the south shore jetties, both great places to start. Get out there this weekend, send those pictures in. And if you do have any notable catches from over the weekend, would love to see them next week. Send them in, Broderick at thefisherman.com. I'd love to get them into this weekly video fishing forecast or the magazine.
At the edge of Long Island, where the ocean meets tradition, Montauk Anglers Club can be your boat's home and your gateway to legendary fishing. Whether you're a pro or just casting your first line, this is where memories are made. Join Montauk Anglers Club, where the catch of the day is just the beginning. Or go to montaukanglersclub.com for more information.
Now it's time to check in with our correspondents around the island. And if you want to hop to a specific correspondent, YouTube has a chapters section that you can take advantage of now to do so.
Greetings, everybody. Yup, it's been a pretty windy week out here in Montauk and pretty much a windy week all along the island. So the fishing report's basically going to wrap up the end of last week. I don't have a whole lot for the beginning of this week, and hopefully things are going to lay down here tomorrow on Friday so that the weekend we can start fishing again and into next week. The local fishing off Montauk is still pretty spectacular. The false albacore, as everybody knows, is probably the best run of false albacore we've had in years. So we're still seeing consistent catches on that, whether it's light tackle or fly fishing. Guys are getting them from the jetty, guys are getting them from the beach, and definitely getting them from the boat. The striped bass fishing is definitely picking up on the beaches. We've had some nice reports of guys catching fish on the sandy beaches, anywhere from the Point all the way up to Amagansett. So it's just a matter of finding that school as this colder weather kicks in, and this wind is probably going to be beneficial for moving the bass. So that's a good sign, and that's a good opportunity. Local squid fishery is kicking in really well. The Viking and the ebb tide are both running many trips during the week, and they're loading up on squid. So if you want to catch some fresh calamari or bait for next season, it's a great time to come out here and get on those boats. The offshore report. The tuna fishing has still been pretty red hot. Unfortunately now with this weather, because it's going to get into the fall, your window is going to be more difficult to find. So if you can get a window and you can get out there and go out to the edge, it's going to be good tuna fishing. Guys have been doing pretty good local catch and release on the giant bluefins, and the yellowfin bite and the swordfish bite has still been pretty consistent. I got some pictures from the Viking last trip out to the canyon. All right, everybody, weather's going to get nice for Saturday and Sunday. I'm sure a lot of you guys are chewing at the bit, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are getting ready to pull your boats. So either way, enjoy the weekend. I hope this report helps, and until next week, we'll see you then. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Hey, everyone. Striper fishing not going too hot in between Shinnecock and Mauritius is kind of frustrating. I've been out a number of times. Obviously, during the storm, no fishing was going on. There were a couple of fish caught prior to the storm, not kind of the crazy bite that sometimes you'll see as one of these bigger storms are rolling in. But the ocean still needs to calm down a bit. So hopefully by the weekend we should be into some fish. And there's been some pockets of fish here and there, but just nothing like last year's bite that obviously was exceptional, but not even a steady bite that's typical for this time of year. So get out there this weekend and fish, because if they're going to turn on, it's probably going to be then. Blackfish season started today. I know Shinnecock jetty, the West jetty was packed with people fishing. I saw a few being brought up. One I saw was keeper sides, a lot of shorts. So that's going on. There's going to be plenty of head boats that are doing their trips. Hampton Lady, I know, is going to started going for blackfish today. So really fun fish to target. And you can also target from shore, like I mentioned, the jetty, some of the back bay areas near any kind of like really hard structure. You can, and if you just kind of go back through the videos, you'll see that Matt has a number of videos of one of his favorite methods of fishing, which is targeting tog from shore. So be sure to get into that. Pretty much all there is for now, and hopefully we'll be into some good fishing this weekend. I'll have more to report next week. All right, thanks. Back to you, Matt.
Hey, folks, it's like the fishing was lights out right before the storm. Surfcasters were banging it up on the boats on the opening day of Blackfish was Saturday, and like so many people we know were limited out. It was absolutely dynamic fishing, you know. And then again, the storm came in, which is normal type of a thing that we experience, big nor'easter on the North Shore at this time of the year. And then, so everything fades back. You give yourself like 2-3 days, the tide set back, just like if you're fishing out east. The shell beds all relax down. The deeper areas, the shallow bite renews itself as the fish come in and pick up all the remnants of those broken crabs and little shells and, you know, clams and such. So there's plenty for the blackfish to eat, and those porgies are in there too. Don't be surprised if you catch a nice sized sea bass right off the beach as well, because this is that time in those rocky areas where, just like the old days on the South Shore, when you had a lot of skimmer clams in the sand. You went down to the jetties, the striped bass would be like all over the jetties because there were skimmer clams just everywhere. You know, it's like free bait, and the fish know it. Striped bass bite has been phenomenal right before the storm, so let's see it pick up again. Like I mentioned, the blackfish, the sea bass, the porgies are still there. There's plenty of bluefish is going on. So the fishing is definitely dynamite. Look for this weekend. It's going to be a nice one. I think people are just like so ready to go out and catch some fish because it's a short period of time we have for blackfish, and our blackfishing on the North Shore is just absolutely lights out. You know, it's fantastic. With regards to Asian crabs, just a quick little commentary here. So many people are coming in and they expect to have Asian crabs here. We cannot sell them. It's possession prohibited, and it's prohibited for any shop to sell them. That's as per this year's DEC law. So there's nothing we can do about it. I would recommend calling up the folks at the DEC over at St. James. They're very nice people. Ask for who to speak with, and just voice or write a letter and say, hey, the fact that I can't possess any Asian crabs, and if you're picking them off the beach yourself and you can only like get a cap at 50 or possibly get a very large fine and go to court about it, just seems like nonsensical. So give those folks a call. Be super polite. Courtesy is contagious. Very important. Don't be rude on the phone. They're state workers and they're very nice people. We speak with them quite often. So that's my advice to you regarding those Asian crabs. Other than that, the shop here is like totally stocked out with stuff. We have a large selection of rods and reels now. We've been bringing in a lot more different items to enhance that experience, because we have so many people visit the shop from the reports to get their repairs done, pick up something, say hi, get a hat, and thank you so much. It really, Phil and I, from the bottom of our hearts, want to say thank you for the support of our family business. We work really hard for our customers, and it seems like they work just as hard for us. And that's a wonderful relationship, and it's all about what fishing's about, you know what I mean? So I want to say again, thank you. Get out there, fish, have a great time, create memories while we still have the time, because I'm usually pulling my boat around November 15th before it gets too dicey and all of the marinas start to shut down on the North Shore. And then it's just about trailering and surf casting. Until next week, I bid you all peace and tight lines.
Hello, Matt. Well, this is interesting week again. Every week's an interesting week. But anyway, we had a great week this week. Several things happened. First of all, of course, we had our first northeaster this week. And, you know, even though it made it, you couldn't really go fishing and nobody really should have been out fishing, it's great because it shows it's starting this fall run. It gets the fish moving a little bit. It cooled down everything, which was great. And because of the rain, it really added a lot to the rivers, which is good because we need it. We can still use more rain, but it was a really good amount of rain, and it helped a lot. Lowered the fire risk, which is also another good thing. But I did a guided trip with a bunch of other guides. There were 5 of us all together, and we guided on the Connecticut for the New York City Athletics Club, the Anglers Club. That's a little separate division of it, and they do this every year. They had a trip, and it was a small group, very small group this year. Whatever reason, some of them canceled because they thought it was going to be bad. But you know what? Yeah, it was misty in the morning, and it was cloudy all day, and the fishing was fantastic. Considering they haven't stocked in a while, and there were a lot of fish in the river. They came out, the water, the river went up 6 inches today. It was great, clear. Fish were eager as anything, eating dry streamers, nymphs, anything you gave them, they ate. It was terrific. We had a terrific time. Everybody had 10, 15 fish. It was phenomenal. Now, as far as saltwater goes, well, I'm hearing from Bluefish Joe. He's talking about, in the surf, they're still catching a lot of bluefish. Not great size, but a lot of them, which is good. So we want to get out there now. This week is going to be a good week for it. You're going to be, because we're coming off a new moon, a full moon, and it should be really good. So this is the time to get out. Get out where you can, fish when you can, because it is going to be a great fall run, and I'm looking forward to freshwater and saltwater. So to next week. Tie lines, everybody.
3, 2, 1. Hey, Matt, Fire Island report. It's a tough one this week. Hard to report anything because nobody has fished. Even today, the storm came through, wrecked the whole weekend, wrecked a couple of days after. So all I can say is, fluke season now is closed. Blackfish is open. You can get on a spot anchor up near a bridge column. I'm sure you're going to catch a few blackfish, maybe some sea bass. But everything else is a big question mark as far as still bluefish around. Have the bass come in the bay? We're going to find out over the next few days. So, Matt, that's all I got for you this weekend. All right, take care.
In the famed waters of Panama awaits a fishing experience like no other. Tropic Star Lodge welcomes anglers to get in on world-famous fishing action. Plan your perfect trip today. Tropic Star Lodge, the ultimate in fishing adventures for more than 60 years.
Thanks, Matt. Hey, guys. Ryan here with your Western Long Island Surf Fishing Report. It's been some very tough fishing for me since the full moon. I got out on 6 tides this week, coming up empty-handed and not for a lack of effort. I fished my usual plugs in some prime-looking water, and good wind, I just could not get a touch. However, I do know there are some bass being caught along the western South Shore, just not in great numbers. Most of these fish are anywhere from slot size all the way up to 40-plus pounds. The nor'easter in the beginning of this week beat up on the beaches and created some sporadic bites for those throwing bucktails and bottle plugs. This week's lack of productivity is certainly disappointing, especially for mid-October, but I am hoping that the fishing is going to be picking up in the coming week as we look towards Tuesday's new moon. Until then, best of luck out there, tight lines, and I'll catch you guys next week. Back to you, Matt.
Thanks, Matt. Well, the fall run is in full effect, and it started with a bang. Came back from the Miami mullet run and was greeted by 40-inch plus bass all over the place, blitzing early in the morning. It starts about 15 minutes after sunrise, and around 9:30, it's like someone hit a light switch and it's out. So get out there early, get on that first hour and a half to 2 hours of a crazy bass bite. The word is out. The fleet is crazy. You got to keep your head on a swivel. You got to be really careful out there. Everyone's running and gunning to these feeds. It definitely can be dangerous. You got to watch out for your line, make sure it doesn't get run over. So just be extra careful out there. I know it's exciting, but slow down a little for safety's sake. They're basically hitting everything you throw at them. They're on mullet, bunker, and rain baits. I really like spooks. This is kind of like a spook, this monomoy. I took off the front hook for easier dehooking. It looks like a lot like a bunker. The action is great. I love the walk the dog and seeing bass blow up on it. Super exciting. They're hitting spoons. These nickel spoons are awesome. This it's like OK Wow brand. It's like just a heavier, smaller spoon. If you got to get down faster, if there's a current and a fast drift, they're great. But definitely throw some NLBNs, any soft paddle tail, they're going to hit it. I personally like going up top, all right, and with the spook. So it is on and popping. We're going to be going out Friday and this weekend. So if you want to come out and hit me up, space is limited. But right now it is prime time and it's all big fish. So get out there, be safe, and get tight. Thank you, Matt.
Hey guys, Nuno here from Tyalure. Thanks for having us. Crazy week of weather. You know, we're dealing with this nor'easter, multiple days of heavy northeast wind, east wind, and then followed up by some 15 to 20 mile hour winds the next few days. So we have to wait for this to settle down and stuff. Prior to the storm, black fishing got off to a good start on opening day. That opened up on Saturday for us in the Long Island Sound. It was about the only day we could fish for them before the wind kicked up. Guys did pretty good. Not a lot of jumbos, but you know, the counts were pretty good. The short action was very good. Green crabs have been the killer out there and stuff. So black fishing looks good for this coming weekend with the weather tapering off and stuff. Prior to the storm also, the striped bass started to show a good showing on the South Shore beaches, Massachusetts, Rhode Island. Started to see the surge of this migrating striped bass. Here in the Long Island, same thing. Local guys were starting to catch a little better along the shoreline. A lot of schoolies to start, and then some of the boat guys were starting to get some of their slots and overs also, you know. As far as the nighttime guys, a lot of action on there on the artificials, guys. A lot of local scenes producing down to the west. Guys are catching them on the artificials. You know, they're going in the water in the waders and doing pretty well and stuff, you know. So offshore scenes still remain very good with the yellowfin tuna on the draggers, the Bacardi area. Areas like fishtails and the dip were producing some big eyes and some longfin tuna, some swordfish out there. We'll see where this water settles after the blow. I mean, it looks like the weekend will have some fishable weather.
All right, here we are, Jamaica Bay. Guess who's back? The striped bass are back, and we got a little local night trip going on, and look at that, Ben's first striped bass, actually. And how many bass did you catch tonight, Ben?
Caught 2 tonight.
That's right. Actually, you got 3, my brother.
Well,
you got 3.
Right,
you got
3.
3.
We threw one back.
So he's got 3. His first striped bass trip. He's got 3 fish. We're using live eels right now. So, yep, right now is the time to, you know, hit the bays. They're in the back bays. Fish some local structure. We got some great structure behind us. So, yeah, just working some plugs, some eeling, and mixing it up. But a good sign to see that the striped bass are back, y'all. Peace.
That's your report for the week, folks. A lot of events coming up. A lot here going on. Surf events, boat fishing events, freshwater events even. A lot of stuff going on. Hope you all fared well after the nor'easter. Didn't hit us too bad. Cross the fingers, it worked. Hopefully everybody's okay. But there's a lot of fish out there. Striped bass, blackfish, sea bass, porgies. There's squid around too. The fall run is here. It's in the air. It's cooling down. The fish are on the beaches. They're in the inlets, they're out in the ocean. Take advantage of it because now is the time. 2 months from now, you'll be wishing you fished at this time of the year. Get out there. We'll see you next week.